Welcome to the kindergarten.
Hi, I'm Kathy Jones. I'm one of the kindergarten teachers here at Turkey Run. I've been teaching kindergarten longer than I'd like to admit. Thank you for bringing your child in today for the screening. If you didn't bring your child's birth certificate or social security card, please make sure you get those to us as soon as you can. The screening your child is doing while you're watching this video will help us recommend the best programming for your child. We started looking into forming a Young Fives class clear back in the spring of 1990. Rockville had been doing it for several years and felt like it was successful in giving children a great start to their school career. After exploring it for a while, the school board agreed to start the program here. Wilma Wooten, Sally Simpson, and I went to Kalamazoo, Michigan to have training to administer the Gazelle developmental screening. Through the years, several other teachers have had this training. We want to emphasize to you that this is not an IQ test, it's not a test of your parenting skills, and it is not a judgment of your child's preschool. Please keep an open mind if we recommend Young Fives for your child. Like you, we only want what's best for your child. After many years of studying children, the Gazelle Institute came up with norms for children at certain ages. We look at not only the finished product that the child makes, but how he or she approaches the task, including the attention span, ability to follow directions, and verbal answers. My experience through all these many years is that this screening is usually very accurate in predicting how a child's kindergarten experience will go. Children who are overplaced in school often experience stress or feel overwhelmed. Perhaps they don't want to go to school, or they have stomach aches or headaches. Sometimes they are uncomfortable emotionally or socially. Work that is easy for some students is very difficult for children who are not ready to do it. Our goal is to have the best school experience for the whole child, not just the academics. For some children, having this extra year gives them the opportunity to grow and mature so that school is a much more positive experience. Often these children are well adjusted, and not only are they good students, but they turn out to be class leaders. As you listen to the curriculums that the other ladies are going to tell you about, please think about your child and what they're ready for. Please don't hesitate to ask us if you have any questions or to notify us if there's anything we can do to help you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany Sheenan and I'm a kindergarten teacher here at Turkey Run. I told you before that I have taught Young Fives for 3 years, and this is my 9th year in kindergarten. So I've seen both of the curriculums, and I guess the biggest thing that's different is kindergarten work can be fun if you're ready for it. If you are overplaced and overwhelmed, then the things that we're expected to teach in kindergarten aren't always the most fun. So it's definitely much different than when you and I went through what has been pushed down from the state, and what's expected of these little kids is crazy. And a lot of them can do it. It's not that they can't, but it is a lot of extra work and not just playing and rest time all day. So I'm going to go through some of our schedule and things that we would do, some of the expectations that we'll have for your child if they enter the regular kindergarten classroom. And please, if you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to ask. So starting off, I'll just go through a little bit of our schedule. Mrs. Jones and I both teach the regular kindergarten program, and our schedules vary a little bit, but of course our expectations are the same for what children should know leaving our classrooms going into first grade. So when students arrive, they'll be able to eat breakfast if they need to, and we'll have some sort of activity for them on the table. We are currently using the Ready Math series that we work on throughout the year. We work on numbers and then addition and subtraction pretty quickly into the year. And students are expected to count to 100, write to 100 independently. That word independently will come up a couple of times because it's things that they should be able to do on their own, not with teacher help or aid help or looking at some sort of number line or anything like that, just that they can come up with on their own. They should be able to recognize numbers to 100, understand patterns, and name 2D and 3D shapes. In our language arts, we have a series called Benchmark Advance. Students will be expected to master upper and lowercase letters and letter sounds, with those letters being out of order. They will also be expected to master around 60 sight words. We have these first 3 sets: baseball, soccer, and basketball. That's around 60 sets. Those will be introduced at each 9 weeks. If your child would master it before then they would be given a new set when they've passed that set a few times at school. And then after they pass the basketball, there are beach ball, ping pong ball, and football. And those 3 sets would be give them around a total of 100 words heading into first grade that they've mastered. Those are great for them to know heading into first grade. They would also need to understand how a book works, retell stories, write words and sentences and stories independently. And we're working on many of these skills even before Christmas. Letter sounds, reading 3-letter words, putting those sounds together. We're working on that right up to Christmas. And then after, that's when we start to put all those together to make sentences, putting books together, to read everything together. So it just trucks along pretty quickly. Also during our language arts time is when we would do small groups. So we will group your child with students who need the same types of things as them. So if you say, well, my kid already knows, some sight words, or they know all their letters, that's our chance to break them into a group where kids also know their letters. We can work with them on sight words or reading earlier, or if your child is still needs some practice on those letters, we can work on that as well. And throughout the year, those groups can change, and the skills of course change, and we'll just work with them for what they need. We also do whole group at that time. We kind of do a mixture of both whole group and small group. So every child's listening to the same stories, doing the same activities for whole group, and then we break into small group to do more individualized lessons. We also at times will have some Title I support, where we can break the classes into even smaller groups with Mrs. Branson and Mrs. Early and Mrs. Hobbs. Or they can pull them at different times throughout the day if students are needing extra practice with things. So that's really beneficial to have those 3 here on our staff. We also do fine arts classes throughout the day. We'll have Miss G, which is our new counselor, and she will do a social emotional lesson, talking about feelings and the 7 habits and just different skills that they might need, coping skills they might need. We also have music, library, art, PE, and computer lab during that time. So they'll go to 1 class each day, and then Miss G will catch us when we can. Typical non-COVID here, all 3 of our classes would offer centers of some type where we would rotate, and we would offer small groups at our table, computer time, iPad time, maybe some fine motor skills, some gross motor skills. Each year has looked different, this year has looked different so far. So during that time, it'll be kind of hit and miss what we are allowed to do. We also, all 3 classes offer a rest time for students who sometimes at the beginning of the year, they need that extra rest, and we do offer it throughout the year. Even if they don't sleep, it's a nice time to just kind of sit and relax and regroup for everybody to get started for the rest of the day. We also will offer at least 2 recesses. This year we've had 3. Depends on our schedule what we can allow time for. So as I mentioned earlier, kindergarten can be a fun place to spend your day if you're ready for it. Sometimes students we recommend for young 5s who decline the opportunity struggle socially and emotionally. And our goal for your child and every child we meet is for them to thrive. That's all we want. We want what's best for your child. We want them to love school and be excited to wake up every day and come to school. We want them to love it and not be able to get enough of it. Just for your information, I had a child go through there, a son go through there 2 years ago, and I currently have a son in that program. I just love the program so much. Giving them that extra year of growth to mature academically and socially, I think is really important. Some students, it really benefits them to have that opportunity. Some kids are ready to go, at the drop of the hat, and they're ready to rock and roll in regular kindergarten. Other kids, it can really benefit them to have that extra year, and I wanted them to have that opportunity. Again, we only want what's best for your child, and even though we only saw them for just a little while, I know it was just a glimpse of time for their whole life, and we're telling you what they need, but please take to heart what we recommend. We have seen these kids in these programs, how they can work and how they can benefit every child, and we just want what's best for them. So thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
And I am the Young Fives teacher here at Turkey Run. I graduated from Indiana State University in 2015 with a degree in elementary education and a minor in early childhood education. I am married with 3 kids, and although we are still in a pandemic, I am super excited to start my 6th year teaching Young Fives. Young Fives is the first part of a 2-year developmental kindergarten program. You could think of it as junior kindergarten or transitional kindergarten. It's a beneficial step between preschool and kindergarten. Students spend 1 school year in Young Fives and then move on to regular kindergarten. The end in mind is to get kids academically, emotionally, and socially ready for kindergarten. We work on letters, numbers, colors, shapes, and so on. We develop fine and gross motor skills as well as interpersonal skills. In addition to getting the foundation built academically for kindergarten, Young Fives also allows children an extra year to mature and grow emotionally and socially. Kids build confidence, independence, and friendships. All of this is so important to their success in kindergarten. When they leave the Young Fives program, students are expected to be able to name all upper and lowercase letters, count and write to 20, know basic shapes, and know their colors. They also learn basic addition and subtraction, phonemic awareness, and other beginning literacy and math skills. Kids in Young Fives are old enough to be enrolled in kindergarten, but scored below age 5 on the Gazelle Developmental Assessment, which is the tool we use during kindergarten screening. This means that their developmental age is younger than their biological age. We use this assessment to determine whether or not they could use a year of structure in a classroom without the added rigorous work required in kindergarten to mature. Just like in kindergarten, Young Fives is a full day of school Monday through Friday, and we operate on the same schedule and calendar as the rest of the building. Kids in Young Fives ride the bus to school, eat breakfast and lunch, and are able to participate in all school functions. We go on field trips with the other 2 kindergarten classes and have the same fine arts classes. Both kindergarten and Young Fives are standards-driven and research-based. In Young Fives, we are able to move at a slower pace compared to the kindergarten classes. For instance, I teach 1 letter a week, and we work on the letter sound, writing the letter, and identifying the letter. There is more time to learn through play, and we can focus on social and emotional skills as well. Unlike kindergarten, you cannot be retained in Young Fives. You move on to kindergarten with your classmates at the end of the year, no matter what. The goal of Young Fives is to give kids a year to mature and grow before so much is required of them in kindergarten. It is not mandatory. If the parents or guardians refuse to send their child to Young Fives, then their child is enrolled in kindergarten. However, most often the kids who are recommended for Young Fives in decline are the same ones being retained in kindergarten or 1st grade because they just aren't quite ready for school. The biggest difference in kindergarten and Young Fives is just how much harder kindergarten is now academically. Kindergarten is more demanding of students compared to when you were 5. Some kids are ready for kindergarten as soon as they turn 5. Others need a little extra time. It's very similar to the fact that some babies are crawling at 6 months, others don't until closer to 10 months, and some skip crawling altogether. The Gazelle screening your child will go through helps us determine who could benefit from an extra year of growth. We just want every child to feel successful in their first year of school. You've heard it before, but we want children to thrive, not just survive.